We get into today's episode, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the Open Doors Open Mind YouTube channel. Don't forget to follow us on Spotify and on our other social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook and now TikTok. Links to all will be in the description below. But without further ado, let's watch the episode.
So we've decided to get rid of the two that don't shut up.
We've sacked them.
Got rid of them.
They're in the back of the van.
If you're watching this, Chelsea and Daniel, it's because you talk too much. We needed our own little 10-minute section because we had to cut it off at the end because obviously Daniel wasn't here, but he just doesn't shut up talking. So obviously, some of the questions that I did ask,
Yes,
was obviously your opinion on men's mental health.
Yeah.
Obviously, you will use the words of toxic. I can't even pronounce it. Say it again.
Masculinity.
That's it. But go in a little bit more depth because obviously there's certain times, obviously, that we didn't get a chance to fully go into depth on certain questions.
Yeah. So, what question would you like?
Do you obviously men's mental health and women's mental health?
Yeah.
I see them as this. We receive the world two different ways.
For sure.
Obviously, I just want to know what your opinion is because obviously we got a lot of Chelsea's opinion.
Yeah.
And if Daniel was here, we would never, not even any of us three would have got a conversation in if Daniel was here.
Yeah. I mean, for me, right, I think I'm sick and tired of it being men versus women and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's driving me insane. Honestly, women have a hard life, right, in certain areas where men might not have it as that hard. But then men have really hard lives where women might not find it that hard, right? So we both go through absolute shit in our whole lifetime, right? And it just feels like it's men v women, you know, men can do this and women can't do this. It's just like I'm sick and tired of hearing it, right? We all go through shit and we can all learn from each other. Mm-hmm. We can learn the differences. We can learn how women need to be, you know, helped and you know, comforted and you know, all that sort of stuff. And they can easily learn how men need to deal with things. And the problem is that sometimes women can be stubborn and men can be stubborn. Women will say they're right and men will say they're right. And as much as we try and bring everyone together, at the same time we're getting further apart. And it is really frustrating because like you know, like my situation, I live with my mum and sister, and you know, when I go through, when I'm really annoyed about things, or there's no one that will back me in an argument because they don't understand me. They'll naturally take each other's side because they're women, and they see the world roughly the same because of their upbringing and stuff like that. But whereas if I get in an argument and my opinion on something isn't theirs, I know for a fact my dad would probably have the same opinion as me. So straight away, I just feel like I'm just, as much as I love them, almost talking to a brick wall sometimes because I think there's no one here that has a common ground with me. They don't understand what I'm saying. And then they go, oh no, I understand. It's like, I know you're trying to be nice, but you don't.
Okay, with that then, do you not, so this is my opinion, boys and girls, before I get shot down. I think women are more in touch with how a woman is feeling. Mm-hmm. And they try to push that in a relationship or in the world about crying and bits and pieces, and you should be more emotional, you shouldn't be so aggressive, you shouldn't be this. But that's how a woman feels in the world and receives the world. Yeah. But obviously, I could have a conversation with you, be upset without having to have tears. Yeah. Without having to cry.
100%.
Or say, oh, the world's horrible. I can say, oh, fuck this and fuck that. And I'm really upset. It's like the same emotion to me as it is. But obviously, I have a different way of presenting it. But as you would put it, the men are received that it's aggressive. Yeah. Rather than us just letting off steam where women let off steam and crying. And yes, obviously men, really do think men need to start talking, like having conversations like this, but I don't think we need to go, oh, well, mate, I don't think that needs to happen.
No,
because we do have to be tough. The world isn't,
Yeah.
rainbows and all the rest of it. And
Yeah, we have to. I mean, if in the future I ever have children, I'd teach them to be strong. Some things, 100% you can get upset about, 100%. If your friend moved to another country, or a relative died, yeah, cry. It's sad. You can 100% feel sad for that. If they came fourth in a race and started crying, I'd teach them to be strong and say, no, you know how it feels to finish fourth now.
Mm-hmm.
We'll go again, and we'll try and get first. We'll go for first, 100%. And I think sometimes when you say that, people go, well, that's toxic. Well, why? I'm teaching my kid to be competitive. I'm teaching my kid that it's not really okay to lose. There's nothing really wrong with losing if you're not going to die finishing fourth, but go after the feeling of finishing first. Go after the feeling of winning this and achieving your dreams and achieving your goals. Go after it rather than, like I said in the podcast the other week, go for something that's equivalent of that. And I think sometimes a lot of people be like, well, that's too hard on the kid. It's not. If my kid says, Dad, I want to be, if he thinks he's a boxer, great. I will do everything I can to help my kid be the best boxer he can become. Mm-hmm. Right?
Do you think that's a male's point of view, or do you think a woman sees it like that as well?
That's a great question. I'd like to think women would be the same, because I don't think there's anything wrong with teaching your kid to be competitive. Because
I've always brought my kids up, and it's probably giving my kids and myself some indigestion. It's like the way I encouraged them was because obviously some of these kids you see, I made it in a competition. Like, who's the last one to finish? He's like, you're a loser.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
no,
mean? Okay, there's obviously going to be other women's, and I think a lot of the opinions will be, well, that's not right. You know, you're making this into but the world isn't. I think you need to find a happy balance between 100%. Obviously being in touch with your emotions and obviously realizing the world isn't soft. You are going to need some competitive. You 100%. Are going to need some aggression, controlled aggression. And obviously I was listening to your podcast earlier about, controlling the aggression. Mm-hmm. But if you don't have it, like boxing still around. It's been around for hundreds of years,
one of
right?
the oldest sports in the world, yeah.
And obviously I heard on your other podcast, it's going to get more extreme because naturally we're fighting, I feel, we're fighting against who we are as a species.
Yeah.
That men should be men and women should be women. That's my opinion.
But the sad reality is, mate, what you just said there would offend
somebody.
someone.
Somebody's going to be offended. But why can't you be what you want to be without upsetting somebody else? So if you were transgender, I accept you. Yeah. Why can't you accept me for who I am? I'm a man. I classify myself as a man.
I know.
Okay, I have learnt a lot.
Yeah.
And probably should have put this into practice a long time ago rather than allowing my male ego
for sure
to get in the way.
Yeah.
And that's where I think men could learn that you're damaging your own mental health with certain egos that you think you should live up to and to try and impress, I've slept with all these women, I had a fight with so-and-so, and you end up creating a bubble that didn't need to be there. Mm-hmm. To certain faces that you should be able to give your kids, your wife or your girlfriend or your partner, to what the world sees. Yeah. Because in nature or the world or whatever you want to, there is certain times you should be sensitive.
100%, yeah.
And certain times that you need to be, bollocks, mate, get the fuck out my way.
Yeah.
You ain't doing that to my kid. You've not said that, or you ain't saying it.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee if you went to a restaurant and you're with your missus and the guy starts on her and you go, oh, it's not the right thing to do, is it?
Yeah.
She's going to look at you and go, what?
Why aren't you standing up for me?
Why aren't you standing up for me? Or why didn't you open the door for me? Or
this is how confusing it is.
Right.
It's like, hang on a minute. It's like, I thought you said last week aggression was toxic.
But you need me to be aggressive to fight the guy, right?
Exactly. It's just, like I said last week, what is the effect of too much information and too much guidance and too much opinions, right? You're going to be a rabbit in the headlights, right? And sometimes where you need to be black and white, let it be black and white, because I think it's going to save a lot of people and help a lot of people. But if you constantly say, oh, you got to be less, more masculine or less feminine or this and that. It's just going to confuse so many young people at the moment. And the world's so confusing at the moment for kids. I mean, when I was a kid, all my childhood was, here's £2. I went out and I played football all day. I was out for 10 hours a day. I absolutely loved it. That was my childhood. Now it's so serious for kids. It's so serious. And I'm thinking this is going to have some long-term effects on kids.
I think we, obviously, as a generation, obviously COVID's had the long-term, it's going to have long-term effects on kids and
sure.
everyone's mental health.
Yeah.
I think that's obviously a change in life, and obviously that's... But it is a confusing time because obviously someone on social media says one thing, somebody says another thing. Chelsea will have another opinion, Daniel will have another opinion, me and you have got different, slightly similar or different opinions on certain things, but why is your opinion or my opinion or Chelsea's opinion or somebody else's opinion more important, or their opinion is right and you're wrong? That's the bit I don't get, is if I don't agree with certain people, you're a bad guy.
Yeah.
So, okay, so some of the world you're mixing in, well, I've got to be a fighter because obviously I was a doorman, right? So everything was about fighting. I've got to be this big hard man and all the rest. But why? Why can't you just be what you need to be in that specific time in life or in that situation? Yeah. Because you could be a loving father or a loving husband and all the rest of it. But when the shit hits the fan, that's what needs to happen, right?
Yeah.
Because I guarantee if someone broke into your house, the wife isn't getting up. And anybody that says that in society, well, where was the husband? Oh, he was he was upstairs in bed while I was downstairs in the back. Everyone, male, female, doesn't matter. But like, you up?
Yeah,
so the husband stayed upstairs with the kids, and you went downstairs to deal with the burglar.
Yeah. I know there's just pressure all around. Really, 1 minute it's like, like I said, men need to be masculine, but then when they play the reverse card and say, well, no, you can do it. Yeah. Why should I do it? It's like, well, and then you get almost like shit from it. So
it's just naturally built into us because it's the first thing you think of. If you had here's son and daughter, right? You're in a difficult situation. Who's the one you're going to say, right, this is the situation? You're not going to say, right, to your daughter, right, you've got to help your brother. You're going to say to your son, you've got to help your sister, right? Yeah. But it's just a natural... Well, I don't know if I'm completely wrong. Perhaps I'm the biggest or whatever you want to call it. Yeah. I'm toxic, but I just see that certain times in life...
I don't think that's toxic at all. I think people just overuse it all the time, and they'll
it's used as a weapon against men. So if you have if I had an argument with what was my wife at the time, oh, you're aggressive, you're this, you're mentally abusing me, blah blah blah, and I'm like, hang on, just because you did it in a different kind of way, you're using the same words just with a different
100%.
But I'm the bad guy because I basically told you fuck off.
Yeah.
But because I raised my voice, but you tell me fuck. Oh, you need to listen to her.
Yeah. What cracked me up once is it was months ago, and my girlfriend said, "Oh yeah, it's a red flag if your favourite film's The Wolf of Wall Street." We was having a bit of banter. She didn't mean it, and I went, "But why?" She went, "Well, all that alpha male and all this money making it's just a red flag." I went,
"Red flag to what?"
But I said, if someone wants to make loads of money and be a businessman, and they love all that sort of, hype in the office, and they love earning money, and they're like, why is that red flag? Why is that affecting you? Like, and she went, I went, well, no, go on. She went, oh, I don't want to talk about it. And I was like, well, but what? Like, do you know what I mean? That's how stupid. I know she didn't mean it at all, but it was just, a funny comment. And I'm thinking, but why is that a red flag if someone's favourite films? Do you know what I mean? It's just so stupid.
But do you not think with that kind of stuff, a woman, she's lying to herself? Because maybe. I guarantee you.
Yeah.
Right. Obviously, with your previous guest.
Yeah.
Obviously, I would like to have asked him this question as well. But when you go to the pub or go into the gym, you men will look at each other and work out, and you wouldn't want to piss. Lovely guy, but you wouldn't want to piss him off.
Yeah.
But every man does that in a different thing. Like, you can have your certain mate that we're going to have to help that one. Or, he's got the situation.
That's the thing. I do think...
Because there is alphas and everything.
100%. I do think fear and respect, for me personally, just go a bit hand in hand, because if you fear someone because you heard about their reputation, you're going to go into a meeting with that person straight away with a lot of respect. and but you can have a lot of respect for someone who isn't a scary guy or hasn't had a shady past because they've worked their arse off. They've accomplished a lot of things.
Correct.
They're really humble. They're So again, it all comes down to balance, and I think some people just like to push, these toxic things on other people. It's just a really confusing time. I think all I can say is just focus on yourself, focus on your friends and your family, keep your circle small. No one gets in. Not a lot of people leave either. Have close people around you that will give their best opinion, right? Stop worrying about people you don't know, because why do I care about what people are protesting about in Australia? Do you know what I mean? It's like if someone asked me a question, I'd answer it about it, but it's just like why should I care? I'm 24-hour flight away. Why am I caring about that? Just focus on yourself, focus on what you want to do in your life. Be nice to people, respect people, and go after what you want in life. And like I said in my first podcast, if you find that you can get passion out of something, right, just spend your whole time doing that, because that's going to ground you so much. You won't even go on your phone and look at social media if you're constantly working on what you want. And I just feel like because there's so many options for young kids to go down now, they don't pick one. Like, you walk down a forest and there's like 3 left turns, 3 right turns, 3 straight turns, and you end up just sitting on the floor or going back because you don't know which way to go. Mm-hmm. Pick a route and go down it and keep going down it till you find what you want. And
you may even obviously divert after you've picked the path, but obviously life's just different.
Yeah, exactly. And I just think not a lot of young people are not being told to go after what they want in life. And genuinely, I mean that. Like for me, I want to be one of the greatest motivational speakers, in the country. I want to do public speaking at schools, public speaking at universities. That's what I want in life, and I'm willing to go and get it. And I spent a lot of time procrastinating. I spent a lot of time going, you know what? I don't have the fight in me. I really don't. And when I had that first podcast, and when I'm told people about it,
different response, right? So
different response.
Weird feeling, isn't it?
And doubt is removed by action. And now I'm starting to speak and I'm starting to do things. I can run for 24 hours. I can run 48 miles. I'm doing these things. It was hell to do it, but I'd done it. And now I'm speaking and go, you know what? I fucking can be what I want to be. I can be an unbelievable motivational speaker. The amount of people I help in the gym, the amount of advice I give people, and they come to me now, right? I'm not trying to make out to be something I'm not, but I've spent years telling people that I want to be a motivational speaker. And now I'm finally moving, and I can't stop smiling.
So, okay, right, because we need to obviously wind this up, because I know Kai's going to be looking at 17 minutes, not 10 minutes.
Sorry, guys.
If you could give
your
15-year-old self, knowing what you know now, what would you say to your 15-year-old self?
It's from a part of the prophecy with the guru. He says, if you want to achieve something in life as much as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful.
Wow. Now that is not bad advice. But thank you very much, guys. Please subscribe. Please share to all your friends, because the more we spread the word, the better the word will be about mental health. Thank you very much, buddy. We'll hopefully see the other two on the next one. Then can talk over each other.
Yes.
Cheers, guys. Bye.
Cheers, guys.